Hi everyone, I'm Anna Henschel. I'm a PGR at the University of Glasgow. I'm currently in the third and final year of my PhD, and I'm going to briefly talk about how I use Twitter for collaboration and science communication. So why use Twitter, you may ask? You can use it to share your publications and preprints in the form of either some tutorials or paper threads. It has been shown that if you tweet about your research, it's more likely to get cited. You can find collaborators and resources on Twitter, and these days also virtual conferences. You can get a taste of science communication by sharing your active research. You can get advice, mentorship, and peer support. And finally, it's also great fun. So on the topic of sharing your publications, I wanted to give an example. Recently, I tweeted about my preprint by making a little tweetorial. So that's a thread of tweets which communicates the highlights and key insights of your paper. And after tweeting about this preprint a bit, I recently checked and saw that on the preprint server, it had already been downloaded more than 100 times, which is really cool. You can also choose to collect and curate these tweets about your publications and preprints if you want to refer to them, if you want to refer back to them later on. You can do that on Wakelet or any other tool that you wish to use. You can also find collaborators on Twitter, which is incredibly exciting and cool. Recently, I came across this tweet by Maddie, and she was looking for contributors to a paper proposal. And indeed, I followed her invitation and reached out to her. And quickly, the Open Science Feminist team was formed, and we just recently submitted our paper proposal. So that's very exciting and very cool. As I've said, you can also use Twitter to try out some science communication. The barriers to entry on Twitter are quite low, so you can try out lots of different stuff and see what you enjoy. I can personally recommend trying rotating curator accounts, so taking over a big Twitter account for a week and sharing your research, or in my case, I was tweeting about the R programming language. If you're curious how that went and what I've learned, I've written about that, and you can follow the link to see the blog post. Another great thing about Twitter is that you can get lots of advice, and especially these times in the current situation, a lot of things have changed, and we're maybe in need for some more moral support and peer support, and you can definitely find that on Twitter, and yeah, it's just really great and helpful. A little bonus that I wanted to add was you can also get invited to give talks, which happened last year and was really fantastic. I just tweeted about visiting Sydney, and the lovely Anko reached out and invited me to a talk very kindly. And indeed, I went and gave a talk there, which was a fantastic experience. And yeah. To get to the last point, Twitter is also really fun to use. There's lots of cat pictures and memes to be found. I personally really like the Lego grad student who chronicles the struggles of PGRs quite accurately, I think. Yeah, so I think there are lots of great reasons and advantages and perks that come with using Twitter as an academic. I'm sure this list is not complete, and I've forgotten some things. So if you have another great idea of how you can use Twitter as a scientist and have learned some other things along the way, please let me know. I've collected some resources that I found really helpful, also with putting together these slides. And yeah, keep in touch.